Good morning. My name is Anthony Fatemi. I'm an attorney here in Gettysburg, Maryland. It is my privilege to introduce Ramesh Khurana, one of the superb attorneys in DMV area. I know Ramesh for quite some time. He is an outstanding attorney, most ethical and most complete attorney that I have met during my 15 years of tenure practicing law. Ramesh, welcome.
Thank you very much, Anthony. I appreciate your generous introduction, and you are my friend, and that's why probably you have said so many kind words for me, but I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I know you are very experienced and competent in the area of immigration because I have experienced your work firsthand myself. And we know that President Obama came out November 20th, 2014 and expressed his executive order concern to the public that day. Now, there was a strong rumor that the H-1B program might be expanded under the President's executive order. Can you please tell us any development about the H-1B program?
Anthony, you are 100% correct. When you say that there was a strong rumor that H-1B program was supposed to be expanded as a result of the expected President Obama's executive order, which in fact came through on November 20th, but unfortunately H-1B program development is missing. Now, Department of Homeland Security has circulated a memorandum based on the televised speech of President Obama, and we learned that there was a very intense discussion about expanding the H-1B program, and White House legal department was in touch with the Justice Department, other lawyers, other associations to find some way as to how he could increase the number of H-1B because it is related to quota. As an immigration attorney, Anthony, you are aware that there are 65,000 numbers for H-1B every financial year, and 20,000 numbers are reserved for master degree holders. So, in all, we have about 85,000, and every year there is a lottery, and these numbers are not sufficient to meet the market demand. And there was a rumor that these numbers might go up to 195,000, which were there, I think, before 2000 at some point, before that tech bubble burst. So, unfortunately, it has not happened because some of the lawyers were giving the opinion to President Obama, this is what I have heard, that this will be getting into the area of the Congress, because if you want to change any laws, then this is for the Congress to do it, but executive order is basically in the exercise of prosecutorial discretion. So, President Obama just exercised his prosecutorial discretion and has issued these orders, which unfortunately doesn't cover expansion of H-1B program, but I think this program is going to be streamlined as a result of guidance which is being issued by Secretary Department of Homeland Security.
Okay, well, we're hopeful that the comprehensive immigration reform, when and if is enacted, expand the number of H-1.
That's very true. Okay. So we have to wait for the Congress to act.
Hopefully they do. And in the area of H-1, their dependents or H-4. What is the current situation of allowing H-4 spouses to work?
Anthony, this is a very good question, because the point here is that H-1B spouses, they are not allowed to work. And we have been hearing for the last more than 6 months that very soon they will be authorized to work and they will be issued employment authorization documents, but this has not happened. But it seems like as a result of this executive order, this is on the agenda, and this is going to happen. Of course, no timeline has been given when they will be allowed to work, but my guess is it might happen in the next 60 days.
Okay.
Yes, and that will be a very good development, because spouses of H1B who have not been able to work, so that is the kind of workforce which will be available in the market.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
From your mouth to God's ear. Hopefully
Yeah,
that
thank
happens.
you, thank you.
I understand that OPT program is to be further expanded under the executive order. Can you explain that, please?
Yes, I think again that's a very good question and comment, that the OPT program has to be further expanded, because one thing is that OPT for STEM, that is up to 29 months. Now, the memo says that this period should be extended further, that will be beyond 29 months, or in some cases which are not covered under STEM, it is just 12 months, maybe that is also extended. But the effort here is to include more disciplines under the STEM, so that more people get coverage for the increased OPT program. Because what is the effort here? Effort is to retain those people who go to schools and colleges, obtain their master degrees and bachelor and doctorate degrees. We do not want to send them out and serve our competitors or serve other nations. So they are considered to be strong assets of the United States. So this is an effort in that direction.
Oh, that's fantastic. Instead of sending the talent out, keep them here. Let's compete with outside world with a better talent inside.
Perfectly
Now,
said.
What does the executive order provide for the portability for whom the I-140 is approved?
That's very interesting. You know that as an immigration attorney, Anthony, that after I-140 or immigrant petition, a person can file his adjustment of status package only when the priority date becomes current.
That is correct.
And people have been sitting here for the last several years, especially those who come from India and China. Now, if you look at the priority date for EB3 category, like who are just holding bachelor degrees, that is going back to 2003 for Indian nationals. So, its immigration system is really stinking at this point. And these people who have been extending their H1Bs because they were unable to file for adjustment of status for the last several years, except there was one window in 2007 when priority date became current for everybody who was sitting there. But anybody who filed his PERM application after 2007, he didn't get any kind of opportunity to file adjustment of status application. So, I can tell you, it is like removing the shackles. When a person files 485, his shackles are removed after 6 months. Your I-140 is filed, your 485 filed, after 6 months you can move from one employer to the other. Now, this is going to be possible based on filing of I-140. If your I-140 is approved, and then you will be allowed to move, this is what has been circulated in the press so far, you will be allowed to move from one employer to the other employer. This is a great development. All those people whose priority dates are not current. So, I think priority date concept is not going to be applicable in this regard. All of them will be allowed to file their petition, and everybody is going to get EADs. Of course, when the principal gets the EAD, so their spouses are dependents who are derivative beneficiaries, they will it's not about children under 21, it's just the spouses. So, they are also going to get their EADs. So, that's a great development. So, in a way I would say shackles are going to be removed at the stage of filing of I-140.
This is great news you're providing to the community, and I hope everybody is listening and watching this program and taking advantage of all the awesome information that you're providing us. And last question for today's session is, what is the provision for L1B cases, which are for intercompany transfer?
Very interesting. Anthony, as you are aware, L1B cases are based on specialized knowledge category. Now, for the last few years, I would say 4 or 5 years, there have been very conflicting guidelines and very adverse decisions and denials in regard to filing of L1B petitions. I understand that thousands of such petitions have been denied during the last 2 or 3 years because of the confusion or misunderstanding created, like who is the person with a specialized knowledge, which has been very unfortunate in the field of L1B visa holders. And whenever you want to bring some people for intra-company transfers here, you always look for some kind of managerial position which a person has been holding overseas. Let's say a person is coming from an Indian parent to US subsidiary. So always look for a person who is holding a managerial position in the Indian entity, so that you can bring him on L1A position, because L1B really has become a challenge, and chances of denials are very, very high. So from the executive order, what we gather is that executive order or the Secretary, Department of Homeland Security has issued a memorandum whereby USCIS will be required to issue guidelines streamlining the process for L1B. I am not saying that when these guidelines are issued, that would result in better adjudications. We do not know at this point, but at least they will look at the whole provisions of L1B. They are going to define what is meant by the specialized knowledge. They are also going to define and advise the adjudicators of L1B petitions, like what will be the adjudicating standards for L1B. And these kinds of improvements is going to, these kinds of improvements are really going to make a significant difference in terms of bringing people on L1B on specialized knowledge. Especially it matters a lot to big IT companies like Infosys, TCS, who bring thousands of people on L1B. And you know what has happened when L1B petitions were getting denied by USCIS because of the conflicting guidelines about the specialized knowledge? Now these companies started sending people on H1Bs, and that's why the demand for H1B went up. And there has been a lottery for the last several years. And even last year, 175,000 people applied for H1B against the quota of 85,000. So our best hope is that we will hear some good news, but we have to remember, Anthony, there is no time limit. There is no time set when this additional guidance is to be provided.
This was amazing wealth of information that you have provided the community, and again, I hope that they take advantage of immense knowledge that you have, and they seek the proper help to get whatever destination they need to go. Now, I really appreciate your time, Ramesh. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for everyone that tuned in today and listened to our program.
And in the conclusion, I would simply like to advise the audience, if you have any immigration issues, please remember this is a complex set of laws, and always consult your competent immigration lawyer so that you do not stuck in the way of achieving your goals. Thank you very much for being with us, and thank you, Anthony, for inviting me to the studio.
Thank you. Goodbye.